Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, Episode 16 Review, Ascension, Part 2. So yeah, that was like the whole Zero, losing the sort of flesh suit. Like they set that up, but I wasn't quite expecting it to pay off that quickly.
Although you knew as soon as the commander got aged that
Well, I mean, just
Zero would that they would jump in. Although that aging thing did remind me of the first season of the Orville with that seed with the krill and that gun and the aging gun where they killed the person by putting them through that little field.
Old age sucks.
And then we had Zero with their martyrdom, and then Michelle did hers with aim it at me. But I can't. Yeah, aim it at me, and we're gonna go fly straight at the compound, and so you shoot them. Got to think outside the box.
And we're gonna do apparently a maneuver never done before.
They'll never see it coming because we won't either. Although, okay, like I guess it like works like maybe like the time wave like works differently on each person because like the first guy he probably like aged like what like 60 years or whatever. And maybe like Zero aged like the same amount, which makes me think maybe the body would have lasted a pretty long time because they were there for quite a bit, just getting older and older and older.
Well, I think it might have been deteriorating in a way that like it maybe like it wouldn't have been functional, like, but it would have existed.
Yeah.
Maybe like because already using a cane, so like maybe that was deteriorating and it was sort of doing a general deterioration instead of a specific deterioration on that thing. So it was just sort of went old.
Get off my yawn, things. Old age is great as fucking out there. I feel like I've seen that shape somewhere before. Pretty devastating weapon though.
Yeah. The other interesting thing that I forget if it was in the first episode or this episode was them saying that on Sol, it must have been last episode, the 15th or whatever it was, the last one was part 1, was that the shipyards have this temporal technology like that lets them basically, inside time is running way faster. So they can churn out ships and that sort of in equipment and that sort of thing at a way faster rate than otherwise possible. So
that was
there's gonna be a solemn fleet, I suppose, at some point.
Yeah, that was in the first episode. I forgot about that.
But
it's like stay away from this time field. You'll age instantly. What? I'm gonna try to warn him. Now he's a grandfather. Again, I do hope it explains like how they caught Wesley because he's like a time traveler and also on a completely different planet. They'll probably explain it.
Didn't they? What? Didn't she come up and as they were fighting the loom?
I
And he's like, "They're gonna kill you," and it's like, okay, sure. And then that's where it cut off.
maybe I don't remember. But yeah, Zero gets the exact same old body they had before, but it can
Why do
feel
you guys
now
keep saying she when
because the voice sounds
voice
female.
the voice sounds male to me?
I don't know, it sounds female to me.
Which I guess if it's a split decision, if Zero's a they, it kind of works.
Yeah,
Works as
Zero
a voice for a, if half the people, one half says this, one half says that, and nobody can agree on exactly what gender it sounds like. Something that's someone with and no real gender to speak of or all genders. It's kind of up in the air as to exactly what Zero is in terms in that sort of.
Well, we know what Zero is.
Oh
They're a
Yeah.
Medusan.
Yeah, we know, but like what gender Zero would identify, if any, like if none or
Okay, Zero
all.
is voiced by Angus Imrie. He is an actor and director known for The Kid Who Would Be King, Emma, and The Kingdom.
Yeah.
He.
Well, he sounds like a female. Whatever though.
Well, what they probably did if it's a he doing it, they probably took his voice and then raised it up, and
or he just is trying to sound like a kid, so
True.
he uses a
Yeah.
higher register.
Yeah, either way, they're either through his own natural gifts to raise that sort of
Also,
register, or
if you look at him, he's a scrawny dude.
And
So
I would
born
like
in 1954, he's a kid.
I would like to note that Bart Simpson is played by a female.
Yes.
yeah.
But yeah.
So is Ralph Wiggums and half the other dudes in Simpsons.
But
Pretty much
yeah.
all of them are voiced by the same person.
I know. But yeah, and also it's just like a slip of the tongue most times because I know, like even though I'm non-binary, go by they them, I still slip of the tongue, and I don't know, like it's not the first word that comes to mind.
I know, and I interact with some I role play with some doctors who use they them for the doctor, and I still slip up and call them he sometimes. I have to erase and rewrite it.
And Michael Jackson goes like, it's alright.
I mean, Michael Jackson goes by nothing because he dead,
Yeah,
but
true. Anyways, so okay, so again, this is the first episode. I guess the council's gone. They either like just stepped down or like she killed them all. Probably the latter.
Yeah, or it was a you can step down, or you know, or we can do this two ways. We could do this one where you walk away, or this one where we haul you away in
dude,
pieces.
the diviner slash Itheron, Daddy Dearest, is played by Denethor from Lord of the Rings.
Oh my god.
Because I saw the name John Noble and I'm like, where does that name sound familiar? Oh, that's why.
Okay, now thinking actually of the name of this episode, whose or what ascension do you think it's talking about?
Well,
Maybe Essentia?
yeah,
Well,
ascending to
Essentia is the
power.
name of the chick.
Yeah, I figures that, but I thought that'd be like too on the nose.
It's a title. A lot of them are on the nose.
Yeah, true.
I've been
Yeah.
watching Lucifer, and literally the episode title is sprinkled into the episode somewhere. They quote the episode title somewhere in the episode. So, Ascension.
Yeah, it's also
Well,
a kid's demographic, so puns are more than likely to
and
be
okay,
used.
it could
Fun
be her.
bunny!
It could be her ascension, but it could also be zeros.
It could be zeros, or it could be multiple ascensions.
Yeah.
You can talk about Tao also,
Yeah.
ascending
See.
into.
Yeah.
It works on multiple levels.
Yeah. See, so it's not just Ascensia. Whoever names her child that.
Uh,
Kidding.
she's an alien.
I
So,
know. I know.
I mean,
Just being
Gwen's
facetious.
real name is Gwendala,
Just being facetious.
which I think is actually a very pretty name. But
Oh no, it's a lovely name.
I actually like Essentia too.
Okay, Ascension's not that bad of a name. It just belongs to a terrible person, alien thing.
True. Hey, aliens are still people, they're just not humans.
Yes. Uh,
Unless you're a Centauran, because apparently Centaurans don't consider themselves people.
do you think that she killed Gwendolyn's father?
I don't know, because maybe, but at the same time, maybe she's using him as a hostage.
Yeah, that could be it. And also,
She does feel like the kind of villain that would go, you know what? I could just slaughter her,
Or I
but
can
this
use
could
you.
I could keep you around and have fun with you later as bait or whatever.
Although
Yeah.
that does lend the question if they if they do have that happen and like her dad dies or this whole war thing, even sending the protostar back isn't going to fix that, is it?
Yeah,
Because
he needs to survive long enough to for Gwen
for
to
him to go
be.
psycho and like try to find the protostar.
Yeah, well, and Gwen to be made.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because that's part of this whole paradox here.
It's a literal grandfather, well, not quite grandfather paradox, a literal father paradox.
So yeah, he maybe maybe she tortures him to twist his mind,
Maybe.
and that's where the diviner comes in. That's where he goes from being nice guy to
Cray
whatever.
cray.
Yeah, whatever. Well, it may not have been what happened to Solemn. It might have been Essentia messing with him, and that's what makes him the diviner and ends up closing the loop.
Oh,
they
yeah.
send
Yeah.
the they send he becomes the diviner. He starts doing the things that he's going to do, and then the protostar gets sent back to Tars Lamora, and they the whole thing, whole loop gets closed and everything's good. Which I wonder if by the end of the season we're just gonna actually close the loop with the protostar and that sort of thing. That's what this season's gonna be about, is sort of closing that loop. Because as soon as they close that loop and get the paradox all resolved, you know, then there's no telling what they're gonna do from there. Because like, yeah, they've lost the protostar as their sort of signature ship, their hero ship, but then they can do all sorts of things elsewise.
But I mean, that ship was lost anyways because it was
Yeah.
blown up in the first timeline. So,
I know.
Well, it was more like I was more meaning like from a narrative sort of study instead of like literally in universe.
they could still go through their training and become Starfleet cadets.
Oh yeah, that's not what.
Because
That's exactly what I was
the
saying. Was
yeah, because the series isn't called Star Trek Protostar. It's
yeah,
called Star Trek Prodigy
Prodigy.
because
Yeah,
they are all prodigies.
I don't
yeah.
know why, but you had me like thinking of a movie. I haven't seen it in years, so I probably had like the line wrong. But it's like with like the putting the pro star back where it belongs. It's like put that thing back where you got it, to help me.
Monsters Inc.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But yeah, once they sort of resolve that whole paradox and mend the timeline, then you don't have your hero ship anymore. But I mean,
You
it's
got
not the
you
first.
got
It's not the
two
first
other
time the
ships.
hero ship. What?
You've got two other very decent ships to deal with. Three technically, if you consider the bromance between Chakotay and Janeway. I mean, there's Gwendol and there's Ziraj,
Oh my god.
Mhm,
Zirgel,
mhm.
Zirgel, Majro,
Anyway, but yeah, because
Zini.
you had the Defiant and the Enterprise, and like they've both had lost a hero ship, got a new hero ship. So
And Voyager.
yeah, well, I don't think necessarily Voyager was lost as much as it was retired. I don't remember hearing it destroyed. I remember because
No, it got
lower decks under the lower decks
it
thing,
was
like
retired. It was museumed. It was
yeah,
mothballed into a museum.
yeah, that thing spent 7 years making first like the most first contacts of any
I mean,
crew
I
ever.
gotta
It's gonna,
say, I gotta say, somebody must have broken a mirror right before that initial mission to the Badlands
but
because they had 7 years bad luck.
yeah, the so yeah, a new protostar or something like that. Who knows? Maybe uh there's a new squadron for them just because they're ridiculous, and it's like, yeah, no, they literally are pretty much like if you look at their statistics and what all they've done, it's like these are already like they need a lot of polish for like saluting and knowing Starfleet protocol. But if you're looking for just scrappy, skilled, you know folks
Raw
like
talent.
yeah,
They're the
raw talent,
diamonds in the rough.
yeah, they're scrappy and they're talented, and so yeah,
Altogether, Tooney.
but yeah, so I wonders if one wonders if they're going to essentially eventually get like Chakotay's just going to take him under his wing, and just nope. I'm going to have I've picked my crew. We're having a special Starfleet like you know something or other. We'll come up with a name for it later, but like
Internship.
yeah, internship or seminar
Wait, wait, whoa,
or
whoa. If it's an internship, does that mean that they're flying a USS intern?
Now they're flying the friendship.
Ah, I hear that it's magic. SQ
uh,
about that one.
anyway, anyway, um, but yeah, I mean, like, what do you do with these? With them,
Drunken
just like
sailors?
gonna throw them into Star. He's basically gonna throw them into Starfleet Academy as soon as they can, because it's like, number one, we got to get them off of a ship. We got to get them on a planet somewhere, you know, stationary. Otherwise, they're gonna get up to more hijinks. And just
Also, we really need them to be trained because
yeah,
as it stands, they have so much raw talent, that they will terrorize the galaxy if they are not honed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they don't, yeah, if they don't bring them bring them into a nice disciplined way of doing things, like seriously, you throw them on a if they just found a ship, if you they kicked them out, like, well, you can't kick them out because if you did, all of them would get together, possibly turn pirate, and go find a ship, and then just cruise around the Alpha
Galaxy.
Quadrant, go around the Alpha Quadrant, making everybody's lives miserable.
Or helping people, but
Yeah, helping people, but making Jellicoe's blood pressure like 300.
Jellicoe and Janeway and all the adults in Starfleet making making their life miserable. Oh my god, they need to team up with Mariner.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah,
That would be the most traumatizing team ever.
Oh my God.
yeah. You give them, you give Mariner. Yeah, we're gonna Mariner. Hey, we're gonna give you a command. A
I
command
mean,
of
she was
what?
given command before.
Of
She
what?
she is a junior lieutenant.
Yeah.
Although you just made me remember something. I know it's like a time of stress, but I love the line. This is Janeway to Janeway.
Yeah.
Like, hi Janeway, I'm Janeway. What's your name, Janeway?
It's
Well,
almost as
you know
bad
what
as
you know what they say. There's the right way, the wrong way, or the Janeway.
yeah. Well, I mean, we've had holograms meet the people they're based on before. Like
I
that's
mean, the
actually happened
doctor
in.
saved his creator's life.
Yeah. There's a hollow engineer who was, sick,
Zimmerman.
and yeah, Zimmerman. He was sick, and well, he based the doctor's lightness on himself, and so like, but the doctor, the MH had
Some flaws.
well, he had he had, because he'd been in the Delta Quadrant and seen so much, he actually understood how to cure what was what what was causing him problems, and like
But
he
it's like that that's kind of the equivalent of this medicine woman is trying to save my cure my cancer, but I don't want it because all this the highest priced doctors and all the western world can't cure me. But this time the shaman actually was able to cure him, but it was
well,
because
more like he's
expe-
been out on he's been out you know on the frontiers of medicine, finding brand new cures, and then came back like a Western doctor, went out there, found some cure that was unknown to some disease, and found a cure for that disease, and then like, wait, this disease that you're suffering from is very similar to this one, and I could treat it in a similar way if you just let me, because I have
yeah,
experience
but
treating
the
it.
reason why Zimmerman didn't want the treatment wasn't because it was new or because of any of that. It's because
Because it was the MH.
the doctor was old tech. The
Ah.
doctor was what was too primitive. How can such a primitive device be successful? Like, how could this freaking useless piece of junk that now every other copy is working in the mines because they're useless as doctors? How
Scrubbing
come
plasma
he,
conduits, I think
yeah,
is what it was, or something like
how
that.
that they at least some of them were working in mines. I remember that. But um it's like this doctor who should be scrubbing plasma conduits or digging for dilithium, how is he going to save my life when I have 4 EMH H is above him, who have tried, and every doctor in the Alpha Quadrant has tried and failed. That was his reasoning.
Yeah, but anyway, it's what it actually was what I was describing. What you're describing is why he didn't want it. But
you're describing why he was able to. I was describing why it was a.
We're describing the same thing, but from two different angles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's. Yeah. So.
But also, it's not the first time Janeway's met herself.
Oh, I
because
figured.
she even mentioned I'm kind of dressed like her too. It's weird. It's like, well, she did give us the design specs. Yeah, but it's kind of weird that I met my future self and she threw us back into the Alpha Quadrant and now I look like her. At least she didn't. And I got to go throw somebody through time. I do love that meme of Janeway. I fucked up the timeline before J.J. Abrams made it cool.
But
let's see. I hope they made Zero's body more durable. And
that was so cute how she, Dal's like, oh, you just chose your old body, okay? Why? And Michelle's just like, I think it's perfect. Well, I did have a few upgrades. I have sensory. I can feel now. So of course she touches him, and he's like, "Oh."
I can touch. I can touch everything. But unfortunately, Jenkins did not add rocket launcher.
Yeah.
This is a missed opportunity.
Well, at least they at least can't. It's a shame they can't eat or other things.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it's like we can give you the illusion of taste.
They just gotta possess somebody, like. But I mean, they did at least get to enjoy taste for a while, just like the Doctor did when he possessed Seven.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's getting chill in here. Any guesses for the next episode? Which I'm guessing the next two parts, the last two episodes.
Well, I think there's a single parter. We'll see where this is 16, so I think there's 17, 18, 19, 20.
Oh shit.
And I would be surprised if 19 and 20 weren't a two-parter.
So there's 4 more episodes. Brink, Touch of Grey, Ouroboros 1, and Ouroboros 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not looking at spoilers. Those are just the titles. I just looked at the episode guide on IMDb.
Yeah.
Because I already had IMDb up to look up Zero's actor name because I'm like, I knew Zero was a boy. Like, played by a boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have 2 singletons and then a two-parter. And so.
Okay. Then I mean, the ship made it out okay, but now Essentia knows that they're spread thin, so they won't see what's coming next. They won't see the booty call. Okay. I totally forgot that she was an ensign at one point.
Oh yeah.
Probably the worst.
She was undercover.
Yeah, the worst student in Fleet Academy. I can't think of anything else.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Well, that was twice as long as the other one, but yeah.
Well, that's because we weren't sure where it left off, so we didn't want to do spoilers for the
yeah.
one. So
Think around to the same thing last time.
yeah.
Anyways. Ciao, ciao, people, to the next episode of Start Boy Pooh Boy. Bye.